hold on to your forks, folks, because we're about to dig into the surprisingly controversial history of this everyday utensil. That's right, the humble fork, a tool we now take for granted, was once the subject of scorn, suspicion, and even religious condemnation. Our story begins in the 11th century when forks first started appearing in Europe. These early forks were a far cry from the multi-tined utensils we know today. They were typically two-pronged, made of precious metals, and used primarily for spearing food, not scooping it. Now, you might think a new eating utensil would be met with open arms, or should I say open mouths, but you'd be wrong. Forks faced fierce resistance from, of all things, the church. Some religious leaders viewed forks as decadent, unnecessary, and even blasphemous. They argued that God had given us perfectly good fingers to eat with, and using a fancy tool like a fork was a sign of vanity and a rejection of God's natural order. Forks were even dubbed the devil's tools, associated with witchcraft and sin. But the fork had its supporters too. Proponents praised its hygiene, its elegance, and its ability to elevate the dining experience. They argued that using a fork showed refinement, sophistication, and a respect for the food being served. The debate raged on for centuries, with forks slowly gaining acceptance among the upper classes while remaining taboo among the lower classes. It wasn't until the 18th century that forks finally gained widespread acceptance in Europe, thanks in part to changing attitudes towards hygiene and the growing influence of French cuisine.